We're learning new details about a dog attack in southern Kentucky where an infant was severely injured, why the parents are now facing charges. Plus, what United Airlines is doing to calm customer concerns after multiple flight mishaps this month.
And after some cold weather today, we are starting spring on a nice note. Your forecast coming up as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
We shared the story last week of a widow who is hoping the Mountain Parkway expansion will find a new way so she does not have to lose her home, and her family is not alone. Another Salyersville family says the expansion will not only cut them off from the only place they know, but will force them to dig up a loved one in the process. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has a follow-up from Salyersville.
Many families in Magoffin County are digging through their memories as they prepare to sell their properties for the expansion of the Mountain Parkway. But for some families, that digging is quite literal. The Cole family has been living and growing on their Salyersville property for more than 60 years. But the new Magoffin-Floyd segment of the Mountain Parkway plans to run through the place they call home. And while they are concerned about losing the memories, there is something more substantial that lies on the land. The grave of the family's matriarch, Patricia Cole. And the threat of exhumation has her daughters fearful of the incoming expansion.
Just hearing the news that it was coming through was a shock, you know, because we've lived here our whole entire life. But knowing that we were going to have to move our mother, you know, made it even worse, especially when this was the spot my mom chose to be buried at.
The family says they just hope some changes can be made to the road plans so that they can keep their mother here, as she had always planned. In Salyersville, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Cole's daughters say their property will not even be included in the new road, but since it will run through the only access road they currently have, they are being asked to sell. Hear more about their concerns and their hopes for alternative options coming up tonight at 6. Now, back to breaking news we are following closely out of Wayne County in southern Kentucky. We have some new information now about an officer that was shot. Officials with the mayor's office say a police officer was shot today. The Wayne County emergency manager tells our sister station a sheriff's deputy was shot on Carter's Dock Road outside of Monticello. The manager says a standoff is now underway at the location. Now, a bit of good news. He says he believes the injuries for the deputy are not life-threatening. But again, that's basically all we know right now, some sort of standoff situation at the scene where this deputy was shot. Our own Phil Pendleton is heading to Wayne County. We hope to have possibly a live update coming up tonight at 6. And of course, we'll update the latest on our website, WYMT.com, and our WYMT News app as we get information on this breaking story out of Wayne County.
Well, it may be late March, but we are tracking some very cold weather across the region. High temperatures for this time of year should be in the upper 50s. Most of us right now, though, in the 30s. Also watching out for this, maybe a few sprinkles or snow flurries across the region. Now, I do think most of this is evaporating before it hits the ground because of some drier air, but still, as we go into this afternoon, also this evening, don't be surprised to see possibly a few snow flurries across our region. Zooming into I-75 from Rockcastle County into Laurel County. Also for places in Pulaski and Jackson counties as well. And same story close to I-64 from Menifee County pushing into Morgan County. Also for places in Lawrence, Elliott, also Rowan counties at this hour. But notice those dew points. We are dry. Dew points in the teens and 20s. That means the air is dry. And that's why I think most of that's actually evaporating before it hits the ground. The bigger story on Monday, we are well below average. Most of us right now in the 30s and 40s. And once you factor in a breezy wind, it feels even cooler, gusting up to 29 for London, 23 in Pikeville, and gusting to 17 over in Jackson at this hour. As we go into tonight, the big story, we are frigid. Lows in the middle 20s. As you wake up on Tuesday, we stay dry under a clear sky, so be sure to protect those plants as we see some well below freezing weather, but improvements are on the way. Those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. 2 people are charged with child abuse and other charges in southern Kentucky after a dog attack. The 10-month-old's child's mother and her boyfriend are charged. Police say the 2 initially misled police about the dog attack. WYMT's Phil Pendleton filed this report earlier in Jamestown.
The baby's mother, Emily McKinney, and her boyfriend, Joe Johnson, were both in court this morning. They pleaded not guilty to these charges, allegations over what took place at their home about a week ago. That was when Emily McKinney's 10-month-old daughter was seriously hurt. Police say that they told police and other first responders that she was attacked by a stray dog. Emergency management and others fanned out, but later the investigation showed there was no vicious stray dog. The couple's own dog, a lab, had caused severe injuries to the baby.
Lied to us and concealed the dog's location, and the local first responders used resources that could be used for other things. You know, they're wasting time and resources looking for a dog that did not exist.
A police citation states that she suffered multiple skull fractures and brain injuries. A police report also states their house smelled of dog feces, and the mother had trouble finding a bottle to feed the baby, and also that the baby did not have adequate sleeping conditions. Both of these suspects remain in the Russell County Detention Center. We did call the jail to see if they would like to talk to us about these allegations, but both declined. In Russell County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
State police charged McKinney with criminal abuse first degree, endangering the welfare of a minor as well. Both she and Johnson are charged with creating a false report which generates an emergency response. Johnson is also charged with tampering with physical evidence. U.S. citizens trying to evacuate from Haiti are getting some help from the State Department. The first charter flight with more than 30 U.S. citizens took off from Haiti and landed in Miami last night. The State Department says it will continue the flights and help U.S. citizens out as long as it can. However, government officials say security in Haiti is unpredictable and dangerous as gang violence takes over the island nation.
This is a fluid and quickly evolving situation on the ground. We are continually staying in touch with American citizens and those who may either be interested in hearing from embassy operations or interested in potential assistance in departing, and we'll be in touch with them should additional measures materialize.
The crisis in Haiti began escalating earlier this month as rival gangs began staging coordinated attacks. United Airlines CEO is unveiling a new plan aimed at boosting customers' confidence when flying. This month alone, there's been at least 6 incidents that have occurred mid-flight. Laura Aguirre tells us what the major carrier is doing to calm passenger fears going forward.
It's been a challenging month for United Airlines, with multiple flight mishaps making headlines, compounded by the fact that United is Boeing's biggest customer in the U.S., and Boeing is under federal investigation following a string of quality control lapses and in-flight incidents in recent months. Now, United CEO Scott Kirby is stressing the importance of safety to customers in a message Monday. United's most recent event happened last Friday in Medford, Oregon. One of their Boeing 737-800s landed and was found to have a missing panel under a wing, forcing the tower to halt all air traffic while crews searched for it on the ground.
We didn't find any debris or any panels or anything. Operations continue normally.
Among other recent incidences, the engine of a United Boeing 737-900 caught fire after takeoff from Houston. Then, same city, different jet, a United Boeing 737 MAX slid off a runway. And internationally, a United Boeing 777 left Sydney leaking hydraulic fluid. In all cases, the planes landed safely. Kirby assured customers that the unrelated events did get the airline's attention, and United has sharpened its focus. It will now expand training programs for pilots and mechanics, along with dedicating more resources to manage its supplier network. All moves designed to make flyers feel more comfortable about boarding United jets as the busy summer travel season nears. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Boeing says it's working on several issues identified by the FAA and has until late May to submit a plan to fix its production problems. Meanwhile, another in-air issue for Boeing. An Alaska Airlines flight landed safely in Oregon last night after the Boeing 787 suffered a minor crack on its inner windshield while on descent. The cause of the crack is unknown. The FAA says it will investigate. Coming up on First at 4, it's the cultural rewind you probably were not planning for. Remember VHS tapes? Why the throwback is making a comeback.
And we could see a few flakes this evening. Those details coming up after this break.